Kang Ho wiped the sweat from his forehead as he finished fixing the fence around his potato field. The sun was getting low in the sky, painting everything orange and red. He had been working on his farm for 3 years now, ever since he left the military. The quiet life was good after all those years of war and machines and noise. He picked up his tools and started walking back to his house. The farm was not big, but it was his. He grew vegetables and some grain. He had a few chickens and 2 cows. It was enough for one man to live well. Sometimes he got lonely, but he liked the peace. As he walked past the cornfield, he saw something strange. 4 figures were sitting by the old oak tree at the edge of his property. They were not human. Even from far away, he could tell that much. His military training made him careful. He put down his tools and walked closer. The first thing he noticed was how sad they looked. One of them was tall and thin with skin that looked like it was made of crystal. She was crying, but her tears looked like small diamonds falling on the ground. Another one had dark metal skin and 4 arms. She was holding something in her hands and staring at it. The third one had feathers on her head and arms, but she was not flying. She sat on the ground looking tired. The last one was small with skin you could see through. She glowed a little bit, but the light was very dim. Kang Ho stopped walking. These were not dangerous people. They were hurt and scared. He had seen that look before during the war. People who had lost everything. He walked closer slowly and said, "Hello, are you okay?" The one with crystal skin looked up at him. Her eyes were big and blue like the ocean. "We are sorry," she said in careful human words. "We did not mean to come on your land. We will go." "Wait," Kang Ho said. "You don't have to go." "What happened? Do you need help?" The one with 4 arms spoke next. Her voice sounded like metal hitting metal, but it was not harsh. "Our husbands died," she said. "Mining accident on the space station. We have nowhere to go." Kang Ho felt his heart get heavy. He knew about losing people. He had lost friends in the war. "I'm sorry," he said. "That's very hard." The one with feathers looked at him with sharp yellow eyes. "The refugee center was damaged in the storm last week," she said. "They told us to wait here until they find new places for us. But the town people don't want us there." The small glowing one spoke very quietly. "We understand if you want us to leave. Most humans don't like aliens living near them." Kang Ho looked at all 4 of them. They were different from each other and different from him. But they were just people who were hurt and needed help. He thought about his empty house and his extra rooms. He thought about how lonely he had been. He thought about what his mother used to say. Always help people who need it, because someday you might need help too. "What are your names?" he asked. The crystal one said, "I am Hana. I come from the Velthari people." The metal one said, "I am Sunja. I am Thekrani." The feathered one said, "I am Myung. I am from the Zephyrian clans." The small one said, "I am Boram. I am Aquarian." "I am Kang Ho," he said. "This is my farm, and I think you should stay here tonight. All of you." They all looked surprised. Hana's crystals got brighter. "You would let us stay? But you don't know us. I know you need help," Kang Ho said. "I have extra rooms. I have food. It's not much, but it's better than sleeping outside." Sunja moved her 4 arms nervously. "We cannot pay you. We lost everything." "I'm not asking for money," Kang Ho said. "Come on, let's go to the house." "Are you hungry?" They followed him slowly, like they couldn't believe this was real. As they walked, Kang Ho learned more about them. Hana could feel what other people were feeling. She was crying because she could feel everyone's sadness at the same time. Sunja was an engineer who could fix anything. Mi-young was a pilot who could fly ships and also fly herself. Boram was a water expert who helped make clean water for her people. At the house, Kang Ho showed them the guest rooms. There were 3 bedrooms upstairs and a small room downstairs near the kitchen. "You can pick which rooms you want," he said. "The bathroom is there. There are clean towels in the closet." He made dinner for all of them. It was simple food, rice, vegetables, some chicken. But they ate like it was the best meal they had ever had. Hana kept saying thank you. Sunja asked questions about how he cooked the rice. Mi-young helped carry dishes with her strong arms. Boram just smiled for the first time since they met. After dinner, they sat in the living room. Kang Ho made tea for everyone. "How long do you need to stay?" he asked. "The refugee office said maybe 2 weeks," Mi-young said. "Until they find permanent places for us." "Different places," Boram added sadly. "They want to send us to different planets." Kang Ho thought about this. These four had lost their husbands, and now they would lose each other too. It didn't seem right. Well, he said, you can stay here as long as you need to. 2 weeks or longer. That night, Kang Ho lay in his bed listening to the sounds of other people in his house. He heard Soonja moving around in the kitchen, probably looking at his old appliances. He heard Mi Young walking on the roof. She must be more comfortable up high. He heard water running as Boram took a long bath. He heard Hana crying quietly, but it was a different kind of crying now. Not hopeless crying. Crying that lets the sadness out so healing can start. For the first time in 3 years, Kang Ho didn't feel lonely. His house felt like a home again. The next morning, Kang Ho woke up to strange sounds. Someone was in his kitchen making noise with metal. He put on his clothes and went downstairs. Soonja was standing at his old stove, using 2 of her hands to hold it, while her other 2 hands worked inside it with tools. "Good morning," she said without looking up. "Your stove is very old, but I can make it work better. Is this okay?" Kang Ho scratched his head. "Sure, I guess. What's wrong with it?" "The heat does not spread evenly. Food cooks bad on one side. I can fix this." She pulled out a small metal piece. "See, this part is bent." Easy to fix. Soonja worked fast. Her metal fingers could touch hot things without getting hurt. In 10 minutes, she had fixed the stove and also the coffee maker that had been broken for months. "Wow," Kang Ho said. "Thank you. Do you want some breakfast?" "Yes, please. But I need to eat metal too. Small pieces. Do you have any?" Kang Ho looked confused. "Metal? Like nails?" Soonja laughed. It sounded like wind chimes. "Clean metal. Iron, copper, zinc. My people need it to stay healthy. Like how you need vitamins." Kang Ho thought about this problem. He went to his workshop and found some clean metal shavings from when he made fence posts. Soonja ate them like they were cereal. "This is good iron," she said. "Very pure." Just then, Boram came downstairs. She looked tired and her skin was not glowing much. "The air is too dry," she said sadly. "I need more water in the air or I will get sick." Kang Ho looked at Soonja. "Can you help with this too?" Soonja smiled. "Of course. We need to make a misting system. Do you have old pipes?" They spent the morning working together. Soonja designed a system that would spray fine water into the air. Kang Ho found old irrigation pipes in his barn. Boram showed them exactly how much water she needed and where it should go. While they worked, Mi Young came outside. She had been flying around the farm since sunrise. "You have problems with bugs," she told Kang Ho. "I can see them from above. They are eating your corn." "I know," Kang Ho said. "I use spray for them, but it doesn't work very well." "I can catch them," Mi Young said. "My people are hunters. These bugs are easy prey. You would do that?" Mi Young spread her feathered arms wide. "I need to fly and hunt. It keeps me strong. And your farm gives me a place to do this." By lunchtime, they had solved 3 problems. Soonja had built a misting system for Boram. Mi Young had eaten most of the bugs that were hurting the corn. And Kang Ho had learned that metal shavings from his workshop could feed Soonja. But there was still Hana. She stayed in her room most of the time. When she came out, she looked like she was in pain. "What's wrong with Hana?" Kang Ho asked Boram. "She feels everything we feel," Boram explained. "All our sadness, all our worry, all our fear. It's too much for her. She needs quiet to heal." Kang Ho thought about this. His farm was quiet, but not quiet enough for someone who could feel emotions like sounds. He remembered a place from when he was young, a cave in the hills where sound didn't carry. Maybe he could make something like that. He found Hana sitting by the window in her room. Her crystal skin was very dim, like a light running out of power. "Hana," he said gently, "I want to show you something." He led her to his old root cellar. It was underground with thick stone walls. "It's very quiet down here," he said. "Sound doesn't travel well through stone. Maybe emotions don't either." Hana went down the steps carefully. As soon as she was inside, her crystals got a little brighter. "Oh," she said in surprise. "I can't feel you from here. I can't feel the others. It's peaceful. You can use this place whenever you need quiet," Kang Ho said. "I'll put some comfortable chairs down here. Maybe some books." For the first time since they met, Hana smiled. "Thank you. This will help me get strong again." That afternoon, they all worked together on the farm. Soonja improved the irrigation system while teaching Kang Ho about water pressure and flow rates. Mi Young flew overhead watching for problems and calling down to them when she saw something. Boram tested the soil to see which plants would grow best in different areas. Hana, feeling better after time in the quiet cellar, used her abilities to sense which plants were sick or stressed. As they worked, they learned about each other. Kang Ho told them about his time in the military, how he had been an engineer who built bridges and fixed machines. Sunja was impressed that humans could learn engineering without being born with metal hands. "Your people are very good at adapting," she said. "You use tools to do what your bodies cannot do. This is smart." Mi Young told them about flying in space, how different it was from flying in air. "In space you must think 3 ways at once," she said. "Up, down, left, right, forward, back. Humans learn this too, but it takes longer." Boram talked about the water worlds where her people lived. "Everything is connected by water," she said. "Rivers, oceans, rain, clouds. Your farm has good water. The plants are happy." Hana was quiet most of the time, but when she did speak, she said things that surprised them. "Kang Ho is not lonely anymore," she said. "Before we came, he was very lonely. Now he feels useful, happy." As the sun was setting, they all sat on the porch drinking tea. Kang Ho looked at his farm. In one day, it had changed completely. The irrigation was better. The bugs were gone. The soil was healthier. The plants looked stronger. "You know," he said, "I've been farming here for 3 years. I thought I was doing pretty well. But in one day, you've all made everything better. We work well together," Sunja said. "Each person does what they do best." "My people have a saying," Mi Young added. "One bird cannot carry a tree, but many birds can." Just then they heard thunder in the distance. Dark clouds were coming fast across the sky. "Storm coming," Kang Ho said, standing up. "A big one. We need to protect the crops." They all looked at the approaching storm. Lightning flashed in the clouds. The wind was getting stronger. "How bad can it get?" Boram asked. "Bad enough to destroy everything," Kang Ho said. "I usually just hope for the best and fix what breaks afterward." Sunja stood up, her metal skin gleaming. "Not this time. We can do better than hope." Mi Young spread her wings. "I can see the storm from above. Tell you where it's strongest." Boram touched the soil with her glowing hand. "I can feel the water coming. Know where it will flood." Hana closed her eyes. "I can sense the fear of the plants. Know which ones need help most." Kang Ho smiled as the first drops of rain began to fall. "Then let's save this farm." 2 weeks after the storm, Kang Ho's farm looked better than ever. Word had spread to the nearby town of New Seoul about the amazing harvest they had saved. Some people were curious. Others were angry. Kang Ho was fixing a fence post when he saw the trucks coming down his dirt road. 5 vehicles full of people. He recognized some faces from town. People who had never liked the idea of aliens living on their planet. The truck stopped in front of his house. About 20 people got out. Their leader was a man named Dong-su, who had been a soldier like Kang Ho. But where Kang Ho had found peace after the war, Dong-su had found only anger. "Kang Ho," Dong-su called out. "We need to talk." Kang Ho walked over slowly. He could see Sunja, Mi Young, Boram, and Hana watching from the house windows. "What can I do for you, Dong-su?" "You can stop helping these aliens," Dong-su said loudly. "People in town are talking. You're harboring 4 illegal refugees, making the rest of us look bad." "They're not illegal," Kang Ho said calmly. "The refugee office knows they're here." "They have papers. Papers!" One of the other men spat on the ground. "Papers don't mean anything. These things are taking jobs from humans, using resources that should be ours." Kang Ho looked at the man. "What jobs?" "This is my farm. I decide who works here." Dong-su stepped closer. "You fought for humanity in the Outer Rim Wars. You saw what aliens did to our colonies. How can you trust them now?" "I saw what war does," Kang Ho said. "These women lost their husbands. They're not soldiers. They're just people trying to survive." "They're not people," another protester shouted. "Look at them. Metal skin, crystal faces, glowing like fish. They're freaks." That's when Sunja came out of the house. Her 4 metal arms caught the sunlight as she walked calmly toward the group. "Is there a problem?" she asked. Some of the protesters stepped backward. Up close, Sunja was impressive. Tall, strong, with hands that could crush metal, but her voice was gentle. "Yeah, there's a problem," Dong-su said, trying to sound brave. "You and your friends need to leave. Go back where you came from." "Our husbands are dead," Sunja said simply. "We have no home to go back to." "Not our problem," Dong-su replied. "Humans take care of humans. That's how it should be. Mi-young landed on the porch roof above them. Her wings were spread wide, casting shadows over the protesters. Some of them looked up nervously. We are not asking for charity, she said. We work for our place here. Work? Dongsu laughed harshly. What work? Playing in the dirt? That's when Boram came out, her skin glowing brighter than usual. She was carrying a tablet with numbers on it. This farm produced 300% more food this harvest than last year, she said quietly. The irrigation system is now 90% more efficient. Crop loss from pests is down to almost zero. Hana appeared last, walking slowly from the house. Even from a distance, her empathic abilities were working. She could feel the fear and anger coming from the protesters, but also something else, pain, loss, confusion. You're all very hurt, she said softly, looking directly at Dongsu. You lost people in the war. You're afraid of losing more. Dongsu's face turned red. Stay out of my head, freak. I don't need to be in your head, Hana said sadly. Your pain is so loud anyone could feel it. That's when things got ugly. One of the protesters picked up a rock and threw it at Hana. It hit her shoulder and she cried out. Where the rock hit, her crystal skin cracked. Kang Ho stepped forward, his military training taking over. That's enough. All of you get off my property now. But Dongsu wasn't done. Or what? You'll call your alien friends to help you? You're a traitor, Kang Ho. A disgrace to the human race. No, Kang Ho said firmly. I'm someone who remembers what we were supposed to be fighting for. Freedom, safety, the right to live in peace. Some of the protesters started toward the farming equipment, carrying tools they had brought. If you won't get rid of them, we will, one man said. Starting with this alien-improved machinery. Sunja moved faster than anyone expected. Her forearms worked together, and suddenly the protester's crowbar was bent into a pretzel. She handed it back to him politely. This tool is broken, she said. I can fix it if you like. Mi-young took to the air, flying in circles above the group. Her sharp eyes watched everything. When another protester tried to sneak toward the barn, she dove down and landed in front of him. Lost? She asked with a smile that showed very sharp teeth. Boram knelt down and touched the ground. Suddenly, the area around the protesters became very muddy. Not dangerous, just slippery and uncomfortable. Oh dear, she said innocently. The irrigation system seems to be leaking. Hana closed her eyes and projected calm feelings as hard as she could. Some of the protesters looked confused, like they had forgotten why they were angry. But Dongsu was too full of rage for Hana's abilities to reach him. You think this is over? He shouted at Kang Ho. I'll report this to the Galactic Authority. They'll shut you down. Send these things away. These things, Kang Ho said angrily, have names. They have families. They have feelings. Just like you, they're not like me, Dongsu yelled. I'm human. So am I, Kang Ho said. And being human means helping people who need help. It means being better than our fears. The confrontation ended when several protesters fell down in Boram's mud. Others found their tools mysteriously bent by Sunja's quick hands. Mi-young's aerial presence made them nervous about doing anything violent. And Hana's projected calm made some of them question why they had come at all. As the trucks drove away, Dongsu leaned out his window. This isn't over, Kang Ho. I'll make sure the whole galaxy knows what you're doing here. After they left, the 5 friends stood together in the yard. Hana's shoulder was still cracked where the rock had hit her. Sunja examined it carefully with her skilled hands. I can fix this, Sunja said. Crystal damage is like metal damage. I know how to repair it. Why did they hate us so much? Boram asked sadly. We haven't hurt anyone. They're scared, Hana said, touching her cracked shoulder. The man Dongsu lost his whole family in the war. His brother, his sister, his parents. All killed when aliens attacked their colony. Kang Ho felt a chill. I didn't know that. Pain like that makes people afraid of anything different, Hana continued. He sees us and remembers his loss. Mi-young folded her wings. Will they come back? Probably, Kang Ho said. But we'll be ready. That evening, as they sat together eating dinner, Sunja asked, Do you want us to leave? To protect you from trouble? Kang Ho looked at each of them. Hana with her cracked crystal skin, slowly healing. Sunja with her loyal metal hands that fixed everything they touched. Mi-young with her proud warrior spirit that protected them from above. Boram with her gentle nature that made everything grow. This is your home now, he said firmly. We face trouble together. That's what families do. Outside, storm clouds were gathering again, but this time they were ready for anything. 3 days after the protesters left, a sleek government transport landed in Kang Ho's front yard. A man in an expensive suit stepped out, carrying a briefcase and looking very official. His name badge read, Inspector Taman, Galactic Authority. Kang Ho met him at the door. "Good morning, Inspector. What can I do for you?" Taman looked around the farm with sharp eyes. "I'm here to investigate reports of improper refugee integration. Someone filed a complaint about this facility." "This isn't a facility," Kang Ho said. "It's my home." "That's part of the problem," Taman said, opening his briefcase. "According to regulations, refugees must be housed in approved centers with proper monitoring. They cannot simply live with private citizens." Sunja, Mi-young, Boram, and Hana came out to the porch. They had been expecting this visit ever since Dongsu's threats. "These are the subjects in question?" Taman asked, making notes on his tablet. "These are my friends," Kang Ho corrected. "And they have names." Taman ignored him and approached the 4 women. "I need to conduct individual interviews. Starting with you," he pointed at Hana. "Your empathic abilities are listed as potentially dangerous without proper monitoring." Hana's crystal skin dimmed with worry. "I would never hurt anyone." "That's not for you to decide," Taman said coldly. "Empathic manipulation is considered a Class 3 threat. You should be in a containment facility, not living freely on a farm." Sunja stepped forward, her metal arms gleaming in the sunlight. "Hana helps plants grow better. She helps us understand each other." "How is this dangerous?" "Your engineering knowledge makes you a security risk," Taman told her. "The technology you've implemented here exceeds standard agricultural parameters. This suggests you have access to classified military applications." "I fixed a broken stove," Sunja said, confused. "And some irrigation pipes." Taman turned to Mi-young. "Warrior caste Zephyrian. Your psychological profile indicates aggressive tendencies that require rehabilitation assessment." Mi-young's feathers ruffled with anger. "I hunt crop pests. I fly patrol to watch for problems. I have hurt no one." "And you?" Taman faced Boram. "Your aquatic needs are deemed too specialized for most standard colonies. The resources required to maintain your health are considered excessive." Boram's glow grew dimmer. "I only need clean water and humid air. Kang Ho made this for me with old pipes." "These are all violations of proper refugee protocols," Taman announced. "I'm recommending immediate relocation to appropriate facilities." "Separate facilities, separate?" Hana asked, her voice breaking. "But we're family now." "Refugees are not permitted to form unauthorized family units," Taman said. "It complicates the integration process." Kang Ho felt anger building in his chest. "You want to split them up? After everything they've been through?" "I want to follow the law," Taman replied. "These refugees will be relocated within 72 hours to facilities better equipped to handle their specific needs." That night, the 5 friends sat in Kang Ho's living room, feeling hopeless. Hana was crying crystal tears. Sunja nervously clicked her metal fingers together. Mi-young paced like a caged bird. Boram sat very still, her light almost completely dim. "There has to be something we can do," Kang Ho said. "Like what?" Mi-young asked bitterly. "Fight the whole Galactic Authority?" Kang Ho thought about the problem like the engineer he used to be. Every problem had a solution if you looked at it the right way. "What if they weren't refugees anymore?" he said slowly. "What do you mean?" Sunja asked. "What if you were business partners instead? Legal residents with a legitimate purpose?" Boram looked up hopefully. "Could that work?" "I don't know," Kang Ho admitted. "But it's worth trying." The next morning, Kang Ho met with Inspector Taman again. This time he had papers of his own. "I want to file for an agricultural partnership," Kang Ho announced. "These 4 women are not refugees seeking charity. They are skilled professionals who I'm hiring as business partners." Taman looked skeptical. "You can't just change their status overnight." "Why not?" "Sunja is an engineer who has increased our efficiency by 300%. Mi-young is a pilot and security specialist who prevents crop loss. Boram is a water management expert who optimized our irrigation. Hana is a biological specialist who monitors plant health. These are legitimate business skills. The regulations clearly state, the regulations say refugees must be monitored and housed appropriately," Kang Ho interrupted. "But they don't say anything about legal business partners choosing to live and work together." Taman frowned. "Even if I accepted this argument, You would need to prove the business is viable. These partnerships must be economically sound, not just charitable arrangements. Fine, Kang Ho said. Give us 30 days to prove it. 30 days? Taemin laughed. You think you can build a successful multi-species business in 1 month? We already did, Soonja said, joining the conversation. We saved the harvest, improved the equipment, and increased production. The question is whether you're willing to recognize success when you see it. Taemin looked around the farm. Even he had to admit it looked impressive. The fields were perfectly maintained, the equipment was running smoothly, and everything showed signs of careful, skilled work. Very well, he said finally. 30 days. But there are conditions. You must show profit, not just productivity. You must demonstrate that each partner brings unique necessary skills, and you must prove this arrangement benefits the wider community, not just yourselves. After Taemin left, the 5 friends looked at each other. 30 days, Mi-young said. Can we really do this? We can try, Kang Ho said. We've already done the hard part. We work well together. They spent the next few weeks working harder than ever. Soonja designed new equipment that other farms wanted to buy. Mi-young started offering aerial survey services to neighboring properties. Boram helped other farmers improve their water systems. Hana provided plant health consultations. But the real change happened in the evenings when they sat together planning their future. They weren't just trying to pass an inspection anymore. They were building something real. I never thought I would have a family again, Hana said one night. After my husband died, I thought I would always be alone. None of us expected this, Boram agreed. But sometimes the best things come when you're not looking for them. Soonja was working on plans for expanding the farm. We could build greenhouses for year-round growing, add workshops for equipment repair, maybe even start a training center. Teaching other refugees how to integrate? Mi-young asked. Teaching everyone how to work together, Kang Ho corrected. Humans and aliens both. As the 30-day deadline approached, they had orders for Soonja's equipment from 6 other farms. Mi-young had contracts for aerial services from the local agricultural association. Boram was consulting on 3 water management projects. Hana was helping solve plant disease problems across the entire region. The night before Inspector Taemin returned, they all sat on the porch looking at their expanded farm. New buildings, new equipment, new fields ready for planting. Whatever happens tomorrow, Kang Ho said, I want you all to know something. You didn't just save my farm, you saved me. What do you mean? Hana asked. I was just surviving before you came, going through the motions. Now I have a purpose again, a family again. Soonja reached over with one of her metal hands and patted his shoulder gently. We saved each other, she said. That's what families do. Inspector Taemin arrived exactly on time, 30 days after his challenge. But this time he wasn't alone. A small crowd had gathered to watch. People from New Seoul, other farmers, even some government officials who had heard about the unusual partnership. Kang Ho met the inspector at the farm's new main gate. Where once there had been a simple wooden fence, now stood a professional entrance with a sign reading, 5 Rivers Agricultural Cooperative. Impressive, Taemin admitted, looking around. Though I notice you have visitors. Word spreads fast when something works, Kang Ho said. People are curious about what we've built here. They walked through the farm together. Taemin took notes on his tablet as they visited each area. The original fields had been expanded and improved. New greenhouses showed off advanced growing techniques. A workshop building housed Soonja's equipment manufacturing operation. An office building managed contracts and consultations. Your financial reports show significant profit, Taemin said, reading from his tablet. Orders for custom equipment, consultation contracts, educational workshops. This is genuine business success. Soonja joined them, wearing a work apron over her metal skin. We have 6 more equipment orders this week, she reported. And 3 other farms want us to design complete irrigation systems. The aerial survey service is booking 2 months ahead, Mi-young called down from where she was flying overhead. And the Agricultural Association wants to hire me full-time for pest monitoring. Boram emerged from the water treatment facility she had built. The Regional Water Authority asked us to train their engineers, she said. They want to learn our conservation methods. Hana appeared from the plant laboratory, carrying samples and wearing a smile that made her crystal features sparkle. The university is sending students next month to study our crop health techniques, she announced. As they completed the tour, Taimin seemed genuinely impressed. This is far beyond what I expected, he admitted. You've created something unique here. We've created a family business, Kang Ho said simply. That's when the surprises began. A group of people approached from the parking area, residents of New Seoul, including some who had been with the protesters a month ago. We want to apologize, said an older woman named Jung Suk. We were wrong about your friends. They've helped our farms too. The equipment Sunja made for us increased our harvest by 40%, added a young farmer named Hyunwoo. We've never seen anything like it. Mi-young spotted the disease in our apple trees before we even knew it was there, said another. Saved our whole orchard. Even some of Dong-su's former supporters had come. We want to learn, one of them said, how to work with different people like you do. But the biggest surprise came when Dong-su himself stepped forward. The angry ex-soldier looked different, tired, but not bitter. Kang Ho, he said quietly, I owe you an apology. All of you. You don't owe us anything, Kang Ho replied carefully. Yes, I do. Dong-su looked at the four women. I let my pain make me hate people who never hurt me. That was wrong. Hana stepped forward, her empathic abilities reading the genuine regret in his emotions. You were protecting what you love, she said gently. That's not wrong, but maybe you were protecting it from the wrong things. I've been talking to the counselors at the Veteran Center, Dong-su continued, learning about my anger, about grief, about how to heal instead of just hurt. Sunja approached him cautiously. What changed your mind? Your equipment, Dong-su said with a sad smile. My neighbor bought one of your irrigation systems. When I saw how well it worked, I asked who made it. When I learned it was you, I realized I was judging you for what you looked like, not what you did. Would you like to see how it works? Sunja asked kindly. As Sunja showed Dong-su around her workshop, Inspector Taemin pulled Kang Ho aside. I have to ask, Taemin said. The Galactic Authority has received other offers for your partners. The Engineering Guild wants Sunja to head their research division. The Pilot Academy wants Mi-young to train their advanced students. The Environmental Corps wants Bo-ram to lead their water conservation program. The Diplomatic Service wants Hana for their empathic mediation team. Kang Ho felt his heart skip. Are you saying they have to leave? I'm saying they have choices now, Taemin replied. Real opportunities across the galaxy. Each of them could have prestigious careers. That evening, Kang Ho gathered his four friends in the living room. He told them about the offers Taemin had mentioned. Engineering Guild? Sunja said thoughtfully. That would be a great honor. Training pilots is something I've always wanted to do, Mi-young admitted. Leading water conservation efforts could help millions of people. Bo-ram said slowly. Diplomatic mediation could prevent conflicts like the ones that made us all refugees, Hana added. Kang Ho's heart sank. Of course they would want these opportunities. Who was he to ask them to stay on a small farm when they could change the galaxy? You should take them, he said quietly. These are amazing chances. I won't hold you back. The room fell silent. Outside, the evening bugs were singing in the fields they had all worked together to plant. Finally, Sunja spoke. Kang Ho, do you remember what you told Inspector Taemin about what we built here? A business partnership, Kang Ho said. No, Sunja smiled. You said we built a family business. Family first, business second. Mi-young folded her wings around herself. I could train pilots anywhere. But here I also have sisters. Bo-ram's soft glow filled the room. I could help millions of people with water. But here I help people I love. Hana's crystal features sparkled with joy. I could mediate between strangers. But here I live with people who understand me. So you're staying? Kang Ho asked, hardly daring to believe it. We're home, Hana said simply. Why would we leave home? 6 months later, Inspector Taemin returned for a routine follow-up visit. What he found amazed him even more than before. 5 Rivers Agricultural Cooperative had become a training center. Refugees from across the galaxy came to learn integration skills. Human farmers came to learn new techniques. Young people of all species came to learn that cooperation was stronger than competition. Dong-su was there too, working as a security coordinator and counselor for other veterans struggling with anger and loss. How did you know this would work? Taemin asked Kang Ho as they watched humans and aliens working together in the fields. I didn't, Kang Ho admitted. I just knew that everyone deserves a chance to belong somewhere. That night, as he had every night for 6 months, Kang Ho sat on his porch with his chosen family. Soonja was sketching designs for new equipment. Mi Young was teaching young pilots how to fly in formation. Boram was showing children how water moved through plants. Hana was helping everyone understand each other's feelings. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if we hadn't met? Boram asked sometimes, Kang Ho said. But not often. Some things are meant to be. My people believe that when you lose one family, the universe prepares another, Mi Young said. You just have to be brave enough to recognize it. And wise enough to choose it, Soonja added. And patient enough to build it, Hana finished. As the stars came out above their farm, Kang Ho realized that the title he'd heard people use for their story was wrong. It wasn't about a retired human who opened his farm to 4 alien widows. It wasn't about that night when none of them slept alone. It was about 5 people who chose to become family, who built something beautiful from their shared losses, who proved that home isn't where you come from. It's who you choose to build it with, and every night since then, none of them had slept alone. Not because they shared beds, but because they shared something deeper, a place where they all belonged, surrounded by people who chose to love them exactly as they were. The farm grew. The business prospered. The training center helped thousands. But most importantly, the family endured, and that was exactly as it should be.